What's going on YouTube? GraveCinder here, and welcome to the updated how to start your city for the year 2020. Just so you guys have a reference point, currently it is March 30th of 2020. And let's begin. So what I'm going to do in this how to start your city tutorial is I'm going to take you through the first 4 milestones. So that means that we're gonna go from little hamlet to worthy village to tiny town to boom town, and that's where I'm gonna leave you. I'm hoping that by the time we hit boom town, you're gonna have a better understanding of how to start your city and be set up for success with some of my tips, tricks, and the beginning road layout. So the reason I picked this map right here is because this is the very first map, and everybody who just downloads the game and no additional DLC has access to it. It's called Black Woods. It's actually one of my favorite maps to play on as well, because it's, well, look at it. It's just simply beautiful. But enough of that. So, like I said, we're going to go up to 1800 in population. When you're first presented with the game, here's your option right here. You got to start within this first tile. You have $70,000 monies in the bank, and you got to make something of it. And it's doable. It really is. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pause our game. And you can do that by pushing down on the left thumbstick. Next available option is going to be roads. And the only road that we have available to us when we're first starting out is just the two-lane road. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our first inward highway road. We're going to go out by 3 full blocks. As you can see, 3 full blocks are 3 fully filled in squares. Then next we're going to go over into snapping options, turn off the road guidelines, and you get into snapping options by pushing Y while you have the road selected, and then just going into snapping options and selecting which one you would like. So then what I did here is I went over by 3 and I went over to the left. And the reason I'm doing this like this is because the starting point in this city is not symmetrical. You'll notice right here, right now, when I connect it, it's a little bit offset. So it kind of gives us this weird offset in the zoning squares, which in turns later on, when you upgrade the road to a highway, is going to make it not look as appealing. So the next thing from here that we're going to do is we're going to grab our 4-lane road. We're going to come up here all the way at the top of this little 4x4 square. We're going to make sure that we have straight road selected. We're going to go out by 1 full block and 2 additional units. So 1 full block is, again, 1 full square filled in, and then 2 more notches, 2 more tiles, if you will, and then push up on your D-pad. Next, we're going to go out by another 12, so 1 block and 2 tiles, and select, and another 12, so 1 block and 2 tiles, and go down. From there, what we are going to do is we're going to come back right over here. We're going to go back into our small roads. We're going to select this 2-lane one-way road that we have now unlocked, and we're going to get into our curved menu. So curve the road menu. So make sure you have the road selected. You push Y, go into curved, go out to where it shows up over here as the half circle, and then connect right in there. Same thing over here on this side. Connect right in there. And next what we're going to do is gonna go over here into our change direction. So again, have the road selected, or you don't even have to have it selected, just have it be in the roads menu. Push Y, go down to change direction, And we're going to change this direction right here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade these roads right here to one-way roads. So same thing, be in the roads menu, push Y, and then go to upgrade. So we're going to upgrade all of these to one-way roads. So by this time, you have a very good idea on how to use curved, or how to get into at least the curved road menu, which is Y curved. While you're in the roads, you know how to upgrade roads. You know how to go up in elevation, right? And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I know it doesn't look all that great, but it does get better, I promise. So next, what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and go over here and select our 2-lane one-way road. We're gonna make sure that we are in the straight road, and then go over here into snapping options. Make sure your road guidelines are turned on, and come over here to this pillar. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go up to the very first. These little circles, they're called the nodes, by the way. So when you hear me saying node, that's what these are. They're little nodes. So you're gonna go up to the first node right here. You are gonna go out to make sure that you see 2 full little dashes right there in the space. So right here in this space, you see both of those dashes. We want them right there. And then you're going to go out for the cost of 120. Okay. You're going to do the same thing right here on this side. So see how we have those 2 dashes fully visible. Cost of 120, and you're going to come and connect right here. Next, what we're going to do is from here, we are going to grab our curved tool. I'm going to come right over here to this first node, and we're going to go out to this little half circle. So not all the way out here, but that's 3 units. So we're going to go out to there, and you can see that it's three tiles by counting the tiles right there. So you see 1, 2, 3. There it is. And we're going to curve up by 2 tiles, if you will, or another 3 units. So you can see the 2 tiles right there. You can see how it's a perfect 90-degree angle. That's what we're looking for here. So 1 more there. From here, we're going to go into our straight roads. Go out to right here where you meet with this blue marker, or out by 1 full block. So that's a straight road. Next, we're going to go into curved roads and repeat exactly what we did on the other side. And voila, it's starting to take shape. So we're gonna get rid of that, and get rid of that. To get rid of roads, push X or square, depending on if you're Xbox or PlayStation. And then come over here to this oval about that we just built. Go into curve the roads. We're gonna come right here. We're gonna go out by 1 full block, and instead of curving in like so, what we're going to do is we're going to come all the way down here and curve right into this node right here. And then we're going to do the same exact thing over here on this side. So come out to 1 full block, come down here to this little node and plug it in. Then we're going to change direction of this road right here. And here we have a functional off-ramp to this side right here. Now, the first thing that we're going to focus on is we're going to be building a quick little layout over here on this side for our industrial zone. So you have residential, commercial, and industrial. We're going to build a layout for industrial first. So what we're going to do next is going to come over here to our 4-lane roads, or medium roads is what they're called in the game. Come over here to this first node. Go out by a total of 2.5. So you see how it's 2.5. You got 2 full blocks And then you know it's half when you get the blue line that shows up on the other side, but you haven't yet completed it, right? So 2.5 right here. From there, we are going to go back into our small roads. We're going to grab that road, go down. We're going to go out by 11 units. And the reason I'm doing 11 units is because this road right here, again, it's wider than these 2-lane roads. So they take up more room when you're connecting to, let's turn the orientation, so this side. So if you see, if I was to do one full block and go out this way, I have these zoning squares right here, zoning tiles that intersect each other, and I don't want that. So we're gonna go out by 11 units, or 1.1 block, and you see how right now we're perfectly lined up on our zoning. So that's what we want. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna go out by 2 full blocks, go down by 1 block, go out by 3 blocks, and complete that nice looking rectangle. We're gonna do one more section over here for our industrial zoning, and that's gonna set us up for success in the industrial side. So we're at $51,040 left in the bank, and we have lots to build. Okay, so now that we have the layout for our industry put away, let's focus a little bit on residential. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here to where we stopped our bridge, by the way, our beautiful bridge. Look at that thing. Nice and symmetrical. So next up, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna select our 4-lane roads. We're gonna go into curved, come right up here. This may aka perfect 90-degree curve. And then we're gonna go out by 1 full block. Okay. Next, we're gonna grab our straight 2-lane roads or small road. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna go up by 1.1. So 1.1. And that's gonna give us that perfect lineup again. And we are gonna go out. Let's see, how far out should we go? We should go out to right about there. And then from down here, from our industry, we're gonna want an access point for all the residents to get into work. So we're gonna give them a connection right there, right? So now you have a way in from the city and you have a way into industry, right? Come down this way. And then from here, if they are going into your residential area, they're keeping straight, getting on the bridge, going out this way, and getting into the residential area. So then over here, we're gonna grid out just a little bit, and we're even gonna curve as well. So out by 2 units, then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna curve into the road right up there. Something a little bit different, not completely gritty. Feel free to get rid of these rocks right off the bat if you see them in your zoning space, because they will mess up the zoning. So that's a little tip right there for you. Huh? Let's come over here. We're gonna go out by 2 full blocks, just like so, and voila. Okay. Coming up here, we're gonna need a little bit more room for our residential area. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and turn off snapping because it's getting a little bit annoying and we don't really need it right now. We're gonna come out up here by 1 full block. We're gonna come down here by 3 full blocks and go in. One more time, 3 full blocks. Come down here, come in here. And you know what, actually, we're doing okay on monies, so let's extend this road out by 1 full block as well. I'm gonna get rid of this before it becomes an issue. And I saw one more, yep, that one right there. Okay, So now we have an area where we're going to put our industry. We have an area where we're going to zone residential, and commercial we are going to zone right into these little pockets on the side of this main road right here. That should be enough for the very beginning, right? But before we do any zoning, there's 3 things we have to talk about. Make sure your game is still paused, by the way. It's a reminder. Make sure your game is paused or else you're losing money as we're doing all this. So first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that our city has power. Now, I like to start with a coal power plant. So I'm going to come and I'm going to place that sucker right here. Okay, it's got a cost of 19,000. That took a huge hit in our budget, so we're at 19,360 bucks right now. But I think we should still be able to make it work. Next up, what we need to focus on is actually, you know what? Let's do this real quick to kind of give us an idea where we need to be. Grab your power lines. We're going to need to move power over here to our water and sewage. So right there, we're going to run the power line all the way to here. Okay. So next we want to put in our water pumping station and our water drain pipe. Okay. This is probably the biggest tip I can give you when you are first starting out your city. Never put your water pumping station downstream from your water drain pipe, right? What that's going to do is it's going to, while you're pumping out the sewage with your water drain pipe, the water pumping station is going to pump it all up and make all of your citizens sick and in turn die. Do not do that. It's kind of like one of those things where people tell you, do not eat the yellow snow. So let's go ahead and place down our water pumping station just upstream from the water and drain pipe. We'll put that right there. We do have to connect them with water, so grab your water pipes, connect there, and you'll get rid of those little icons. And now, actually, since we're here, let's go ahead and hook them up with power as well. So right there and right there. And we are good to go on power. All right, so hopefully you guys are having an easy enough time following along thus far. By the way, I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, if you aren't subscribed yet and you feel like this tutorial is going to help you, go ahead and subscribe, give the video a like. If you like the video, it goes out to more people. They see it, helps them be a better mayor in their own city, and in turn, we have a lot more successful cities out there. So, like and subscribe if you find the video helpful. Next up, what we have to do is we have to make sure that we have water in all of our area right here. So residential, commercial, as well as industrial. And I'm going to show you a quick little tip right here. Okay, let's come out to right there. The most efficient grid layout for your water pipes is going to be, if from any starting point to say right here, you go out by the cost of $460. So not $440. I've done extensive testing on this to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So you can go $440. $440 will give you an overlap in coverage. $460 will give you just enough. So let's say the perfect amount. So go out by $460 and go right there. So you see right here how you don't really have an overlap, but it's just filled in completely. That's $460 for you. Now, it saves you just a tiny bit of money, but we do have to be absolutely frugal when we are first starting out. So next, what we're going to do, again, to be more frugal, I'm sure you guys saw me trying to go out this way. No, don't do that. Come over here to this little road, okay? And just hook up to your water pipes and go out to buy another 460. And we're going to come out to right there. We're going to repeat this process 2 more times. Actually, 1 more time. Looks like we are all covered up. And we're going to go all the way out to there. This one we are going to want to extend out to here, just to make sure that we have all of our commercial watered as well. And we are all done with the water pipes. Last thing left to do is to connect the water pipes to the water pumping station as well as the water drain pipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this one all the way out to here and just hook it up to the water pumping station. You don't have to go down here and hook it up to the water drain pipe as well, because these pipes all do the same exact thing. So just making sure we do have everything watered. We have power, right? So we're transferring power from our power facility here to our water drain pipe as well as the water pumping station. Now we're going to need to provide power up into the residential area. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run a power line across this road, and we're just going to go into these first 2 tiles right here. Okay, and we're going to leave it just like so. So there you have the perfect start, to me, at the very least. You have industrial, you have residential, you have a little bit of commercial, you have power, water, sewage, you have a way in of your city, into your city, and you have a way out of your city. And you're actually left with $2,680 in the bank. That's exactly where you should be if you followed this tutorial 141. Now, because we have that extra little bit of money, right? It means we can spend it or we can keep it in the bank. I'm actually gonna just keep it in the bank. Actually, no, I won't. I'm gonna spend it. I'm gonna spend it. So let's come over here. We'll grab our 2-lane, 2-way roads. All right, come out to here, and we're just gonna make 1 more grid, just like so. Okay, so now you have $680 left in the bank, and you should be just a-okay. Now, because we added this area up here, we do have to give it water, right? So we are gonna come for 20 right here. And how much are we gonna have left? Oh, come on, we have 260. We can spend 260, but okay, never mind that. Let's leave that alone. I shouldn't have spent that money, but leave it. Trust me, just leave it. Okay, next step that we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to push Y or triangle in your on your controller. Go into economy, push R1 or what is this on Xbox? RB. Push R1 or RB. Go over here and lower the power budget all the way down to 50%, as well as the water budget all the way down to 50%. Okay. The reason we're doing this is because at full on 100%, we are producing way more than what we need. So we're reducing the budget so we save money in the beginning. Okay, so do that. Next, we're going to start a little bit of zoning, right? So let's come over here. The reason I put the power line right into these 2 tiles is to make sure that we connect power to the very first house that we zone. Okay, so you should still be on pause, by the way. You should have $260. So you're a broke city, you're a broke mayor, but $260 left in the bank. You've got just enough money to go take some high value investors to one lunch, maybe just a drink, and have them invest some money into your city. So we're zoned here for our very first residential. We're gonna come over here and let's just go ahead and plop both of these blocks with industry and commercial. Let's not worry about that just yet, but let's go ahead and start the game. Let's see who the first resident is going to be in Beginnersville. You'll notice that we're going to start losing money in our budget right away, right? And that's okay. Don't worry about that. Don't concern yourself with it. We're going to be just fine. Have faith and trust. So let's zone more residential. That's the first thing that we need to satisfy when we're starting out. And I mean, you can follow what I'm doing. You can zone elsewhere where you like. I recommend following where I'm zoning. That way, we're all on the same page for the next steps to follow. So zone this and this, and these two for the time being. Actually, you know what? Let's zone this and this part right here. And how I'm using this select tool is just, again, push Y, go up, use the select tool, and just like so. So we're going to let all of this fill in. You see that the commercial demand down on the bottom right is creeping up a little bit. So let's go ahead and plop a little bit of commercial right there and there. And we are going to zone it right here. And I believe we have water out this way too. Let me check. We do. Perfect. And we're good. We are almost to 320 in population, which is going to be our first milestone, where we unlock a couple of new things and get a cash injection into our budget. So we do have industry coming in as well. Residential is still there and commercial is there. So while this is all coming in, let me explain to you why we're having all of this kind of separated, right? Industry pollutes. So does this power plant right here, and so does this water or sewage water drain pipe, right? So you want that away from your residential, regardless of if it is high density, low density. You want it away from it, period. Because if you have it close enough, citizens are going to get sick. They're going to get sick and die if you don't have enough hospital coverage. At the same time, and actually here real quick, let's go and I can show you the pollution since we're here. So info views, pollution can be found right there. So you see how they're like dark brown buildings, right? And you see how here you have a little bit of the darker, and it's increasing even more on the ground. So they're producing ground pollution right there. So we'll check back into that here in just a little bit. We also have something that's called a noise pollution. So that omits roads, omit noise pollution, industry and commercial, as well as parks and any kind of other entertainment buildings. So you see cars, how they're driving in there, that same red color. They do have noise pollution, but as soon as they stop and park, no more noise pollution, right? So a little bit funny, but hey, check it out, guys. We are Little Hamlet. We now have access to taxes and loans, garbage, healthcare, and education and campus areas, which you shouldn't worry about campus if you don't have the DLC itself. New buildings wise, we have the landfill, medical clinic, elementary school, recycling center, and the community school. Again, don't worry about the community school if you don't have the Green Cities DLC. I do have all the DLCs installed, but we're only going to use the buildings that come with the base game. That way, if you don't have the DLCs, you don't have to worry about not being able to follow along. And I'm just looking at the time length of the videos I'm putting together for this, and this might be a long one. So let's try and get through it. So we covered a little bit of that noise pollution right there. The first thing that when you pass or when you get into that first milestone, the first thing you want to do is you want to start by placing down a garbage collection service. So for this, we're going to use the landfill, right? Not happy. It's going to pollute a lot, but it's just something that we have to do. And actually, I think... So you see right here how the ground is becoming brown. That is the ground pollution that these buildings are producing. And that's bad. You don't want to live next to that. Let's see. Next up, we do have some more residential, but what I really want to do is I want to complete out the water pipes right here. That way we can zone more residential right there and there. We have a little bit of demand for commercial, so let's zone. We'll zone that up right now. Next thing that you want to do is you're going to want to provide a school. So education is really, really important in this game, believe it or not. You want to have educated citizens so they get better jobs and work at higher paying positions in your industries or your offices when you unlock them down the road, or your level 3 commercial, or whatever you want to, or whatever's available really. So we're going to come and grab our elementary school because that's the only one we have unlocked at this time. And we're going to come down here and we're going to place it right at the end of this road. Oh, I'm going to pause the game real quick. So you see how we're getting these power icons right now? That means that our budget is now too low to sustain the amount of power that we are needing, right? So we're going to go back into our economy, go into budget. Let's increase power to 70. Let's actually go 75% right now. So go up 25% from what it was. And you'll notice that these icons are going to disappear. And they're gone. So we have 4,000 left. We're going to get that residential demand back in just a moment. So I'm going to prepare one more area over here so we can zone. There we go. And I'm just going to zone it up right away. That way we can focus on other things. So let's go back into our milestone. So far, we have only messed with garbage and education. Now we're going to take a look at taxes, loans, and healthcare. Let's go into economy. We're going to come over here under our taxes, and we're going to increase all taxes, all available taxes to 12%. So residential, commercial, as well as industrial. The reason I'm going up to 12% because that's the sweet spot for everything. That means that the residents are happy and okay paying 12%, and you're not essentially leaving money on the table. So you're collecting as much as you can because, again, in the beginning stages, you want to be frugal. You want to have all the money that you can to get the city off to a good start. Down the road, when you're making 10s and 20s and 30s of thousands per week, you can decrease this down to 9% should you feel like a bad mayor for charging 12% tax. And then let's go into loans. So we do have one loan available to us right now from Silver Sunset Bank. They are the small town lender, but they will give us $20,000. We'll have 52 weeks to pay it back at 5%. Weekly, we're going to pay them $403 for a total cost of $21,000. So we're going to take that loan, right? It's going to help us continue on with the tutorial. So we have now 22,000. We're going to grid out just a little bit more up here so we can make sure that we have enough for all of our taxpayers to move into and help us pay that loan back right now. Let's come over here. We're going to go out by 460 again. Right there and right there. Again, future prepping right here for an additional grid. And let's see. Next, we are going to talk about healthcare. And let's go over here. And we're going to need a little hospital, right? So we're going to place a little clinic. It's actually called a clinic. A hospital comes later on in the game. So we're going to place a clinic right here. And you can see we don't have any sick citizens right now, but we did give everybody a nice little happiness boost. Oh, we're for the village. Look at that. So let's do a quick look of what we have unlocked. I feel like this milestone came way too quick, by the way. But that might be just because I'm talking a lot. So we now have a new area that we can unlock. We get districts policies. We can take a second loan, which I believe we will. We have emergency services, which means fire department and police department, forestry and farming specialization, self-sufficient building, and organic and local produce. Again, if you don't have green cities, don't worry about those. New policies and firehouse and police station. So let's well, why not? Let's go ahead and build the police station right off the bat, and we're gonna put that sucker right over here. Okay, so you have the little clinic and the police station right there. And firehouse, we're actually going to come down here and place it closer to, oh, perfect example. Look at that. Look. This is setting on fire over here. And we don't have a fire department yet. So we're going to put our fire department over here closer to our industrial area, because industrial areas tend to set on fire more than anything else, really. So there you go. Thanks, folks. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your hard work. They've put the fire out. 7,900 in the bank after we've taken out our first loan and received a cash injection from the second milestone. I'm gonna prep us for a little bit more industry here. So now we have 2 and 2.6 blocks worth of industry. So again, just make a little 1x3 grid down here to get a little bit more work and jobs out of our folks. You can see that we are getting that residential demand back up. So let's zone this and this, and that's going to take a little bit to come through. We have now covered police and fire. We have covered garbage, healthcare, and the first part of education, as well as taxes and loans. Coming up at 1,000 in the Tiny Town milestone. We're currently a worthy village. So Tiny Town milestone, we'll talk about some of these other things that are coming up. But next, I want to work a little bit on our commercial area. Okay, so if you guys remember the cost, oops, let's fix our power again. I'm sure you guys remember how to do this now. So go into your budget, increase the power all the way out to 100%. While you're at it, you might want to increase this one to 60% as well, because we should be thinning out on water a little bit as well. And yes, we were. There we go. We are good now. So now that we have that out of the way, everything else is looking good in the city. Let's work a little bit on our commercial area. So we're going to have a little commercial pocket right here in the center. If you recall, what we did here is we went out 11 units on this road, or block 11 tiles, 1.1. So right there, 1.1. That's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to come out by 2 full blocks. Down here, we're going to go out by, let's go out No, we're not going to go out by anything down here. So we're just going to make a straight 1 block road down here. We're actually going to go out to buy 3 full blocks here. And just like so. All right, I'm going to leave this area for a little park or something down the road. Next up, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to connect this road. And we are a tiny town. We'll get right back to that in just a moment. Let's 4-lane road from this oval about actually come down here and hook up this road right there. Just go ahead and turn off the traffic lights wherever you see them at this time. They are irrelevant in a small town. Let's go take a look at our milestone. So we are now a tiny town, 1,000 happy residents in our town / about to be city in the future. We've unlocked park areas, industry areas, and don't worry about those if you don't have the DLCs. We do have landscaping, leisure. We have, let's see. New roads, which are some of the pathways. Against this stuff you guys may not have if you don't have the DLC. So don't worry if you're seeing a bunch of stuff here that you don't have. Again, we're only going to use the items that come with the base game. But new buildings, let's take a look at these. These are important. So high school, very important. We're going to need to put that in right away. We do have now public libraries and parks with trees and whatnot. Those are very important as well, because they increase the happiness of our citizens and help our buildings level up. So those are all of the parks that we currently have unlocked, and that's what we're going to focus on right now. So high school and parks. By the way, commercial demand, real quick, let's fill that in, and that right there. I do believe we have water here, not all the way. So we are gonna fill that up, and we should be just a-okay. So before we spend all our money on parks, let's make sure that we have a high school ready to go. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna place my high school right there. Okay, and you see how it makes all these folks happy? That's exactly what we want. We currently only have 56 people eligible to go to high school, which is fine. Out of 1,000 capacity our elementary school, we have 206 that are currently going for a capacity of 300. So we're going to need to build one of these, an additional one of these in the near future. Park-wise, let's take a look at that. So that's the tab that you unlock down here with this milestone is leisure. And you've got a couple of different parks, a couple of different costs for these parks. What we're going to use is this small park that only costs 8,000. So I'm going to want one right over here in the commercial area so they can feel happy. We're going to come over here and we're going to place a park in our residential area to make them happy. We're going to make or place another park right up here in our residential area. And you see how some of these buildings are changing color. They're becoming bluer. That's what we want. We want them to be as blue as possible. So let's come over here. We're going to put one more park, and these guys should over here be the bluest in the city. Or teal. That's teal. That's not blue. Yeah. That's enough for parks at... Actually, no. No, I'll be nice. I'll put one more right here to help these folks. There we go. All right. Now, that's how you make residential happy. You also, unfortunately, make industrial happy the same exact way. Okay? But the bad thing is if you place anything with a tree or whatever in an industrial area, it just looks all wonky. So I'm gonna spend the money. I'm gonna put a playground right here, and look at the trees. They're dying right off the bat. So I'm gonna move it I'm gonna move it somewhere where it's gonna have a better effect, and that is gonna be right over here next to our elementary school. So now these folks should be super happy. And while we're here and we're looking at the icons coming up for power, should you get this, which you should here in a moment, check it out. We're already maxed out on power at 100%. We could increase it to kind of sustain the cost, but I don't like doing that. So now we're going to take another loan. We're going to go to Global Credit Inc., which is one town over. They're going to charge us more interest. So they're going to give us more money as well. They're going to give us $60,000 after 260 weeks. They're going to charge us 10%. We're going to pay them less weekly. We're going to pay them $253 a week. But a total cost of that is going to be $66,000. So yes, let's grab this one as well. And just like that, we have $69,000, which we're going to need right about now because we need to build another coal power plant. So I'm gonna come over here, build another one of these suckers. And we are now again producing more than we need. So we're gonna go into economy, budget, and just go down to 85% should be fine for the time being. Okay. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention to it or not, but look at our residential demand. We've got to use some of this money that we just borrowed to get more taxpayers in so they can help us pay off the loan. That won't let us go in, but that will right there. I'm going to put a little road right there, and then we can do, actually, you know what? Let's go crazy. Let's go vertical. Let's zone the rest of this right here now with the residential, because that's going to fill in real quick. Make sure that you, anytime you're zoning, you always have water. Wherever you're zoning, and we're going to extend this out as well. And let's do one more grid. Now, again, guys, when you're first starting out, and let's say you're just learning the game, gridding is the easiest way to build. If you go any other way, there is a much smaller chance of success. So stick to grids when you first start. You're not gonna regret it. You're not gonna regret it. Almost said regret it. Let's make one more right here for our industry. We're gonna plop that sucker down. Let's make sure we have water, which we don't. 460. And we're gonna come out to there. And you see how we're kind of low in water availability right now. It's going down. Oh, and there we go. We got some icons as well. Remember, our budget is only at 60%. So let's go 80 right now, and those are gonna go away. Now we do have 41,000 left in the bank. We are waiting to hit this Boomtown milestone where we get some of these additional things that we get to play with. But right now where we're at, we're in a good spot. We're making 2,200 per week. We have some money in the bank, and we can focus a little bit on extending our roads, making sure that we have enough coverage on police and fire, and things of that sort, right? So let's come out down this way. We're gonna curve our road right here. Go out by the cost of, let's say, 3,600. We're gonna curve in one more time at a nice 90-degree angle. Let's go out to the cost of 5520, I believe, is gonna get us. I'm gonna turn on guidelines here. I can't see from all those trees. 55, 80 is where we need to be. We're going to make another 90-degree curve right here. And I think that should get us... No! First road we had to demolish. Let's go... let's go out. So one more. So if you guys turned on the road guidelines, instead of going to where it meets, go up one more. And I believe that should get us to line up perfectly with this this park over here. What do you say, park? There you go. Thanks, buddy. All right, we're at Boomtown. Hey, the tutorial is almost over. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it thus far. But what I did here is I just circled up all of our residential, so you get kind of an idea of where you should zone that. I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna close off this commercial pocket as well, and feel free, now that we have the demand, to just go bonkers and zone all of this with commercial right here. Again, anytime you're zoning, make sure you have plenty of water. And we have water up here for the most part. Cost of 460. Just like so. And just like so. And I think we should be okay for the most part. I mean, yeah, you can extend the water right now all the way out to there, and might as well go out to here as well. Again, guys, sorry this tutorial's taken a while. I wanted to be detailed, make sure that I set you up for success, but we're kind of at that end stage right now, right? So we have, let's go into our milestones real quick. We're now Boomtown, right? We get an additional area. So now we have 2 new areas that we can unlock, which means that you can start expanding heavily if you want to, right? But new services, we do unlock transport, taxis, trams are available to you if you have the Snowfall DLC. If you don't worry about it. Post service, I think that was a free update. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody down in the comments if you're watching this. New policies. So again, we haven't messed with any policies. Again, not necessary when you're first starting out. If you're just trying to make some money and be successful, we do get new roads that we unlocked. So the highway ramp, which we're going to use here in just a second. 2-way highways and the 4-lane highways are part of mass transit, and you can't. If you don't have that, I'm not going to use it. So not to be confused there, but you do get those with mass transit. By the way, it's my favorite DLC. If you don't have any DLCs and you're looking for a DLC to buy next, buy mass transit. New buildings that we need to look at is a cemetery, very important. Bus depot, we can plug that in as well, and that's really it. Everything else part of DLCs. So let's take a look at a cemetery, the bus depot. We're gonna do a quick health check on everything and call it a day. So cemeteries, right? If you want to go for well, you know what? Don't worry about realism right now. I was gonna say if you want to go for a realism, place them somewhere secluded, but don't worry about that. So let's go into healthcare. We're gonna grab our cemetery. We're gonna place it right here at the edge of our neighborhood. Okay, that's gonna make everybody nice and happy. Now remember, we mentioned that we are gonna need an elementary school, an additional one. Well, we're currently in the red, so we are gonna need that additional elementary school. And again, you can place that anywhere. Let's switch sides, so people don't have to walk from this side all the way down here to the elementary school. So high school, we're good. Elementary school, we should now be good as soon as that one activates. There it is. We are covered on current available education. What we are going to do real quick, just so I can set you up for success before we end the tutorial, is we're going to finish gridding out our neighborhood right here. Holy moly, I think this tutorial is going to go on an hour now. Let's put a road right here. We're going to put a road right here as well. We're just going to go real quick and turn off the unnecessary lights. Okay, and by the way, we can't forget about this side, so we can put a road connection here. This one's already started, but not working, so we're gonna hook that up, and I think that should be enough. Road connections right there. So you have plenty of room to expand right here, right? So you can hit the next couple of milestones, which are the busy town and the big town, which is where you unlock the high density and whatnot. Commercial wise, again, you can start zoning all around your current neighborhoods, right? So kind of like starting and coming out this way, and we don't want that. Make sure that you have everybody happy. So what provides happiness to people is making sure that you have enough services, right? So make sure you have enough coverage for the medical clinic. Currently, again, we have 6 citizens, so not to worry about too much. But again, if you wanted to make sure that everybody has ample medical coverage, make sure that you have several of these placed throughout the city. Same thing goes for fire department. Now, remember, we placed one down here, so these guys are covered, but most of our city up here is not covered. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a fire department right up here. And now power probably isn't going to transfer to him right away. So we are going to zone this right here, and hopefully people move in here and transfer power. Next up, I'm going to place a police station up here as well, because we don't have the best coverage either. So that's going to kind of complete out our whole residential block right here with good coverage for police and fire. Schooling, we already covered. Industry, we're doing fine. Bus depot. So, we don't have enough money. Buses or transit in general is very important in any city that you build. That means that you're having more people use one vehicle, such as a bus, a metro, a train, and keep them off the roads. Currently, we have no traffic issues here, right? But down the road, once the city gets bigger, you are going to have some traffic issues, and you're going to want to make sure that you stay on top of that by utilizing proper mass transit, and making sure that everybody who can gets on a bus or a train or a metro and stays off your road. This icon right here means that not enough educated workers. Again, this kind of stuff will pop up and you have zero control over it. We have elementary availability as well as high school availability. We don't have the university unlocked just yet, so there's really nothing that we can do there. If this building becomes abandoned, feel free to abandon it if that's annoying. And here we have a little bit more of the power issues. So let's go and increase it back to 100%. And that should go away. one other thing that I mentioned I was going to do while we wait for our budget to increase is I was going to upgrade this to 3-lane highway. And there we go. We're going to leave that as it sits. What we're going to do here now is we're going to grab our freeform road. We're going to come to this node right here and hook up right there. Nope, not there. Right there. And we're going to give our traffic from the highway, our industry traffic from the highway, an additional way to get in here. Again, that's that traffic management that we're trying to achieve at this time. So in a perfect world, I would downgrade this to a 2-lane highway. But if you are playing without a mass transit DLC, you won't have this. So I'm gonna leave that alone and just leave it as a 3-lane highway. But remember, if you have the 2-lane highway, downgrade this because, well, here I can show you an example as to why I would do it. Is because this right here gives you a turning lane to get into here. So just one dedicated turning lane, right? So that would be the reasoning behind that. But I'll go back and upgrade it to the 3-lane highway where you have a turning lane and a head-on lane all in one. I believe we have enough money for a bus depot right now. So let's take a quick look. And yes, we do. So I'm going to place our bus depot right over here. And really the only thing that a bus depot does is, you know, houses some buses. So once you create your bus routes, they are able to go and collect folks. So this is the last thing that we're going to do in the city. So I'm going to leave, actually, I'm going to leave the game on 3-speed. That way we collect some additional monies. So you can start your bus route anywhere, right? There's no particular way to follow it as long as you have coverage through a good chunk of your city. So actually, we're going to want to go in here and meet up right there. So that's our clockwise. Now we're going to want to go counterclockwise. Actually, I'm going to skip a stop right here just because it's right there in that intersection. I probably shouldn't put that one there either. Let's see, we're going to go here, one more here. One there, one there. And you'll see people are probably gathering up at these stops already. Let's see. So there's one fella right there trying to get on the bus. A couple people getting off. Let's see any folks over here. So a couple of people waiting there. Let's see if we can catch anyone before. So there's one guy there. I think this one over here is going to be popular next to the park. Yep. So there's a bunch of folks right there waiting for a bus. So that just took off a bunch of cars off the road, right? And our traffic is currently, I mean, we only have 2,800 people, but we're at 94%, so we're doing very well. So I think for the time being, this should have given you a very good idea on how to start your city, maybe a little bit more detail than absolutely necessary. But I think if you follow the steps and you take the advice that I've provided, I think you're gonna do just a-okay. In the next few milestones, you're gonna unlock a bunch of things that you're gonna have to play with as well. And there's just simply no way for me to kind of give you a tutorial on how to build your full city, right? I'm gonna set you up for success and show you the basics, and it's up to you what you do from there. If you're interested on some more in-depth stuff and how to kind of design a bigger city, I do have a bunch of Let's Plays. I believe we're soon we're going to start season 4. So I have seasons 1, 2, and 3 already out and available on YouTube for you guys to check out, all for free. Aside from that, if you have any questions regarding the tutorial itself, let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer any questions. Hopefully you guys liked the tutorial. I know it's long, so if you missed something, give it another look-see. It might be there. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. We're currently sitting at 3.4 thousand, so 3,400 subscribers. So that's huge for me, at the very least. I remember I had to slave for a good 4 months to get 100 of you guys following me. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you liked the video, give it a like. I would most appreciate it. What that does, it helps other folks discover the video so they can see it and utilize it to help them in their own city. As always, be the best that you can be in everything that you do, and I will see you guys on the next video.